Welcome back, boys and girls. This is our last chapter of The Outside Dog. Wow. So far, we've been looking for Pancho. In our last chapter, Pancho had gone away. We don't know where he is. We hope he came back. We just don't know where he is. Okay? Well, let's see what happens next. The title says, Pancho Saves the Day. Pancho saves the day. I wonder what's going to happen. Let's see. Wake up, Marisol. He's back. Pancho is back, said Grandfather. Marisol jumped out of bed and ran outdoors. Pancho! She cried. She hugged him again and again. Grandfather brought out a big bowl of dog food. That's her running. Can you see? She came running. Grandfather saw him. Hey, Pancho's back. She ran out of bed and ran to Pancho. Pancho's wagging his tail. Woo! Happy to be back. Doña came running. Lovi! She shouted. I saw him. I saw Pancho. She's like, oh, Randa, Lovi! Wow. Is Doña happy to see Pancho? Yes. Is Marisol happy to see Pancho? Yes. Is Marisol hugging Pancho? Yes. Granddad looks a little indifferent. Just then, Nando came up the hill with two red snappers. I told you it was a picture of a red snapper in the last chapter. Pancho's home, Marisol called out. Is Nando the fisherman? Nando, he has snappers. I wonder if he's going to bake them or deep fry them. And they're waving because Pancho's back. Everybody's excited to see Pancho back. Where have you been, Pancho? Nando asked. He knelt down and put his ear up to the dog's nose. Nando nodded to the dog, then stood up. It's just as I thought, he said. Pancho has a girlfriend. What did I tell you, said Doña. Look at him. Skinny, chewed up, and worn out. That's Nando listening to the dog. That's everybody looking at Nando, pretending he's talking to the dog or listening to the dog, and the dog's talking to him. Marisol kneeled down and put her ear to the dog's nose, the way Nando had. Are you sure he said that, Nando? I can't hear anything. See, she tries it. She can't hear anything. The dog's wagging his tail. You see the bowl for food? Nobody can except Nando, said Grandfather. That's true, said Doña. Nando is the only one on the hill who understands dog talk. All of them are saying Nando's the only one that can understand dogs. That's silly. That evening, when Marisol and Grandfather sat down to dinner, they heard Pancho barking. Grandfather got up to see what was the matter. The dog is barking. Granddad's looking at him. The dog is barking. I think the dog is going. There was a pot of rice burning on the stove. Pancho was barking because of the smoke. Thanks, Pancho, Grandfather said, and turned off the stove. See, that's the rice burning. Why Granddad burn the rice? Pay attention. Boys and girls, when we cook, we don't walk away from the stove because we might burn stuff. What happened? Asked Marisol. Why did you say thanks, Pancho? Because, said Grandfather, he smelled something burning and he warned us. Having a conversation at the table, and Marisol saying, why did you say thanks? And Grandfather told her because the dog saved the house, because there was something burning. Oh, Grandpa, said Marisol, aren't we lucky to have Pancho? What if he had not been here? We could have had a fire, said Grandfather. Granddad's eating dinner. She's talking about Pancho, how Pancho saved them because he smelled the smoke and started barking. At bedtime, Marisol was quiet. ¿Qué pasa? Asked Grandfather. What's the matter? Nothing. I just wondered if Pancho really is our dog. Marisol, said Grandfather, I told you from the start that once you feed a dog, he thinks you own him. Do we own him? Asked Marisol. Grandfather chuckled. I don't know, he said, but he sure owns us. They're talking on the bed. Do you have conversations with your parents or your family members sitting on the bed before you go to bed? That's a good time to talk about your day. Does that mean we will always feed him? I guess so, said Grandfather. He is a good watchdog. Marisol hugged Grandfather. I love you, Abuelito, said Marisol. I love you too, Marty. But remember, Pancho is an outside dog. He will always be an outside dog. The hugging. Did you hug your family member today? Did you hug your mom, your father, or family member today? Why don't you give them a hug after the story? Of course, said Marisol. I've always wanted an outside dog. The end. That is the end of our book, The Outside Dog, with Pancho, Marisol, and Grandfather. Stay tuned for our next story tomorrow, boys and girls.